Welcome back to the Jojitorium. You know who it is. It's Decaying with the Boys. Here in the Jojitorium, we believe that all superheroes should be able to give cunnilingus to each other. So, Batman, we stand with you. So, me and Adam, we finally did it. We are party gods. And you can be one too as soon as you tune into Wild Nights with Rocky Powell. Rocky brings you into her life in the fast-paced New York City scene with some of the wildest stories you'll ever hear. Check out Wild Nights with Rocky Powell podcast on all major platforms when new episodes drop on Mondays. And if you want to see what the Wild Nights IG live show is like, just tune in on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. We were just on it and we had a great time. So if you want to find out what's going on in Rocky's world, you can follow her at Wild Nights with Rocky on all social media and make sure you tell her that the boys sent you. So Adam, what's up,
Had
buddy?
a blast on there on Wednesday.
Yeah, so nice. So
reliving
nice
some memories.
Yeah, some memes. So like if you're hearing us and you're like, why should I go over there and watch you guys talk to somebody else? Well, we often don't get asked about, the crazy stuff that we get to do. We're pretty tame for as much as we kind of go off the wall sometime here on the podcast. But we did have some crazy times, and we spoke about a bachelor party, and that's all I'm going to leave it at. Just know that people got lost, people got knocked out. I mean, it was fantastic. And I tried to heist something. So
it was also nearly a decade ago. So see what we came from.
Yeah, see where we were about 30 pounds lighter. So, Adam, I got to know, man, because you and I, sometimes we do this remotely, and I'm at the Casa de la Anderson, and you are in the Jojitorium holding it down, the brew lab. So, since we can't be together to split a beer, I want to know, are you drinking one tonight?
I am. So, this Monday, actually, I went out to the Hop Farm Brewing Company in... Nice. I would say it's Lawrenceville. It's like between Lawrenceville and Highland Park there. And I got the May Queen Farmhouse Ale, which was their Pink Boots brew for Women's Month. And it's also Women's Month in the brewing community. And the Pink Boots Brewing celebrates International Women's Day in the brewing industry. So this is a farmhouse ale crafted with local honey and local tea from the Tupelo Honey Teas in Millville, PA. And it is delicious. I had it Monday. I'm going to try it right now again.
Your beer is so much more significant than mine, I feel.
Yeah, I cheated because I asked you what you were drinking first, and then I came with a banger.
You did.
So yeah, it's a nice farmhouse ale. I taste the Pink Boots collaboration brew day. The Pink Boots campaign is they do a hop blend every year for this International Women's Day brewing industry event. So that hop was used in it. We actually used it in our Mom Jeans beer here at Bash Brew.
It made it delicious.
Yeah, and it's a 4.8 alcohol percentage, ABV. And yeah, the honey is subtle, but it's there. It's sweet. It's got a nice sweetness. And then the tea comes through really strong. It's just like an herbal tea flavor. And it's got that farmhouse, like kind of little bit of funkiness to it. So it's really good. Nice light summer beer.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at the color through the screen here, and it looks like that's very, very tasty.
Yeah, very good.
So I don't have such a celebratory beer. You do this thing that only I think siblings do to each other, and it's you put me in a corner, and then you one up me. You make me show you my cards, and yeah. So
I call that the green mushroom effect from Mario. The one up mushroom.
Yeah, the one up.
The green mushroom effect. Yeah.
Oh dear God! Now I'm gonna have that damn. So I went with a staple in my beer fridge. I have lots of Hitchhiker in my fridge because a local spot that I love, distributor, finally gets some other different breweries, and they finally pick up all the Hitchhiker brews. So I have something from the Bane series. I have Opposite Bane. Opposite Bane is an Indian Pale Ale. It's delicious. I mean, it's something that you just look at the color too on the screen. It's nice and cloudy.
Very hazy, yeah.
Very hazy, super, super bitey. I mean, it's just it borders on buttery, and that's what I like when I get more of like a hazy style India Pale Ale, especially from Hitchhiker, because I feel like the Bane series that they put out it's I haven't had a bad one so far, and that rings true here. I mean, this thing, it comes in at 6.6%, so it's not going to take you out, but it's certainly you're gonna feel good. You're gonna feel good drinking them. So I can tell you right now, I started off with a full glass while you were sipping on yours. I'm already down to half a glass. This is probably my favorite in the Bane series, and I really can't wait to see how they can continue to tweak what they can put out under this name. So Hitchhiker, you got my attention, you got my money, and you're gonna keep getting it. So thank you very much for Bane, and hopefully nothing bad happens.
Do you think Batman would like a lick of that?
Batman can't lick nothing. All right, so the controversy here is that on HBO Go, they have an animated series called Harley Quinn. And on that show, there's sex, there's violence, there's drug use, there's death, murder, hand grenades, everything. And the creators wanted to put Batman in a storyline where he just goes downtown and eats some sweet cookies. And no, this is where we draw the line. Batman cannot perform cunnilingus. And I think if Batman can't perform cunnilingus, then none of us should be allowed to perform cunnilingus.
Do you think it's because the mask is restrictive to his breathing if he's not breathing through his mouth? Like that nose cover is probably pretty tight.
I'm going to say that I understand.
Maybe it was from a realistic standpoint.
I understand where you're coming from. If that was like the Batman Returns, or no, the Batman Forever with the nipples on the suit, like the really tight one. But I think if Batman was gonna eat vagina, he would have some kind of gadget. You know what I mean? Like because he has gadgets for everything. He had shark repellent. So
Albert would have him covered.
Albert, yeah. Oh, sir, here. And also too, Batman. He tells every woman that he finds mildly attractive his real identity, so he can just take his mask off anyway. Selena Kyle knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he told her as soon as he could.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's very, very true.
Yeah. So here in the Jojitorium, from Buckle to Bell, we keep you up to date with some of the greatest news that's going on in professional wrestling. So first and foremost, Adam, we have to say it off the rip. Congratulations to the Jon Moxley and Renee Young for welcoming their newborn into this world. I know this is something that was being built up for a while, and it almost felt like kayfabe. So it is kind of cool to see it finally happen. I really like John. I really like Renee. They're gonna be great parents. The only thing I think I selfishly texted you. I was like, I wonder how long John's going to be out, though. I really want to see him back in the ring.
I imagine he won't be gone long. I mean, do they live? Oh, no, they live in Vegas. Yes, so he might be out for a little bit.
Yeah, and deservedly so. Good luck in parenthood. It is, I think I say this every time a wrestler has a child. It's way more challenging than what you were doing before. So good luck, and thank God you have a good tag team partner in Renee to help you out. So I don't know if you know this, Adam, because I threw this one in here. So Triple H pissed off probably every one of our favorite female talent in professional wrestling that doesn't work for the WWE flagship. So his idea, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't want to read the whole article because I don't want to go to sleep, but the major point here is that Triple H said something to the degree that every female wrestler in the world that doesn't work for WWE should want to work for the WWE because that's where the best female talent goes. And if you don't want to work there, you can't be the best.
I don't agree, but I think he's just trying to be like a marketing rah-rah boy at that point. Like, what is he supposed to say that's not true? Like, he wants to bring the best in, so I think he's just getting word out there like, hey, we just had to re-sign Eva Marie. Can we get some good talent? Like, who's out there?
Well, I'm just, Eva Marie's going to need a lot of people that she can sub in for all her matches for no good goddamn reason.
Right.
So I think the difference here, because Busted Open Radio talked about this, and the idea was like, you can say, I think the split here was, it's fine to say like our promotion's the best promotion, we have the best talent, but when you say something along the lines of like, if you don't work for us, you're not good, and if you don't want to work here, you're definitely not good. And the one person who took significant
I saw
umbrage, Ms. 412 Britt Baker DMD, put on very simple Twitter post, her and Thunder Rosa nose to nose, toes to toes, right before they went into undoubtedly, inarguably, come after me, one of the best matches of 2021 in the unsanctioned light outs match on AEW on cable television. Hands down, one of the best female matches in 2021.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you, Britt Baker, for doing that. God.
And if I can add on, there's breaking news as of, I think it was yesterday, late yesterday. Did you hear about the NWA event?
No, what's up?
Okay, so I don't think it was in response to these comments, but it does affect the world of women's wrestling. Billy Corgan got on the NWA Power Show. Yes, I believe it was yesterday. With Mickie James, recently released superstar from WWE.
Oh, did she bring a trash bag with her?
To announce that NWA is traveling to St. Louis and putting on a all women's pay-per-view entitled NWA Empower on August 28th. And then the following night, they are putting on NWA 73, their own full show pay-per-view with everybody included. So, and Mickie James is executive producing the whole women's card, the whole women's pay-per-view.
Dude,
that's her
really
role in NWA now. So that's a positive like a positive story for women's wrestling, at least. I just saw that, I think, at 5:00 today.
That's awesome.
But very cool. So Mickie James to NWA confirmed. Billy Corgan seemed the most excited I've ever seen him in any point of his career to announce it. He smiled a little bit. Yeah, it was very little bit, but a little smile. Yeah. And like everybody listening, do yourselves a favor, look up NWA. It's free on YouTube. They put up a new show every week. It's a very it's a throwback to like old Southern wrestling where it's like a studio wrestling program. Mm-hmm. But Mickie James' promo she cut was awesome. Like the one part I remember is this is an all women's pay-per-view and it's for women. It's not for the sake of a hashtag, which was kind of a throw at a diss at WWE, which I appreciated.
Is exactly what needs to happen. I think
so. Yeah, I didn't mean to jab into your story there, but like some breaking news as of today, which I was feverishly Googling while you were talking. Sorry about that, but
that's okay.
I wanted to get the dates right. So late August, 28th and 29th. Let's watch some NWA.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that. And also, too, if you want a nice segue into NWA, like, who's usually there? Thunder Rosa makes appearances on NWA all the time. So if you enjoy Thunder Rosa's stuff, she's on NWA as much, if not more, than she's on AEW.
Serena Deeb was their women's champion up until last week.
Yep.
But so there are some wonderful women wrestlers in NWA.
I think NWA has arguably one of the best women's rosters going right now.
It's just solid technical wrestling. Like it's not super high. I mean, they have some high flyers and stuff, but it's very old school. It's a nice palate cleanser to like the olden days.
Absolutely. And speaking of mat technicians, Samoa Joe is back.
Yes.
The Samoan submission machine came back this past Tuesday on NXT at the behest of William Regal, because let's just face it, William Regal is kind of a punk. He's always played that role and he needed an enforcer. So you got Samoa Joe. But the number one thing that Samoa Joe did, and this is what I love so much about this, Samoa Joe came in and smacked down, no pun intended, all of the GM rumors about him taking over talent or something like that. He looks ready to get into the ring. It looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah, I feel I don't want to speak out of school. I don't know for sure. I feel like he was taken off TV because of concussion worries. Like he just had a lot. But it looks like he might get in the ring at least at a limited capacity while being kind of this enforcer authority role, which I'm really excited about. And I'm even more excited that I fantasy booked him last week before he came back.
You did a great job. You knew what you were talking about. I always find it, like, we may not be the most knowledgeable people, Adam, but I think we write a good storyline.
I just like having fun. I just like fun stuff. Fun stuff, slick stuff.
Where are the bodies, Garth? And speaking of NXT, Adam, you got to watch the 5-way dance for the NXT Championship featuring Karrion Kross and some other significant meat castles just slamming into each other trying to win that strap. What was that like?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to give a quick recap of the match before I give my opinion on the match, and I'm going to try my solid best. So this was Karrion Kross, the defending champion, versus Kyle O'Reilly, versus Adam Cole, versus Johnny Gargano, versus Pete Dunne in a fatal 5-way match.
I haven't seen one of these in a while, by the way.
Yeah, maybe Attitude Era. I don't know. I remember a lot of fatal 4-ways, but a 5-way, interesting.
Yes.
So match started off hot. It was a lot of everybody out, like throw 3 guys out of the ring in one-on-one matchups for a good part of the beginning. Then Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano threw Karrion Kross through the in your house set, like they had like a front door to a house mocked up, threw him through that, took him out for like 5 or 6 minutes. Then the 4 other guys got in the ring and did some really technical, fast-paced, high work rate stuff. Karrion Kross came back in, suplexed them all, destroyed them for a second. It spilled back out to the outside. Kyle O'Reilly and his mortal enemy now, Adam Cole, actually put Karrion Kross through the announce table, taking him out for another significant portion of the match. My opinion sneaking in here, but leading into the best part of the match, where the 4 men again went through some near falls, some great setup, all 4 men in the ring spots. It was great. Karrion Kross comes back in, and then on that second Karrion Kross like resurgence, there were some great 5-man spots that were set up,
which are difficult to pull.
Yeah. And you see the match winding down. Kyle O'Reilly puts Adam Cole in his finishing submission. Looks like Adam Cole's about to tap out. Karrion Kross pops like over his shoulders and puts his finishing rear naked chokehold on him and chokes Kyle O'Reilly out while Kyle O'Reilly has Adam Cole in the finisher to retain the title. In a pretty long match, but never boring match. Now to my opinion of it.
Yeah.
It looked, everything spectacle wise was like really obvious that they were pushing Karrion Kross. Like,
yes.
The backdrop of the screen had like everybody's names on banners, but Karrion Kross was like huge in the middle on the big screen with champion under his name. He was the biggest man by a far shot over the other 4 guys. Which is fine. Like, promote your champion. It was clearly booked to get him over and get him pushed up into like this elite champion status.
Oh yeah.
But the problem was it kind of ended up exposing him because those 2 points where he was taken out of the match and the 4 other guys were doing their thing were the best parts of the match. Mm-hmm. So it was like you got this guy and you're trying to elevate him, but you put him against the 4 biggest, most established workhorses, maybe the best wrestlers in wrestling, definitely the 4 best in NXT.
Oh yeah.
Working together seamlessly. It seemed like they were all eating lunch in the high school cafeteria together for the last 3 months, and Karrion Kross was like at the table by himself, eating like alone, just mumbling.
Steven Glansberg.
Yeah, so like
by himself.
Even when there were like cool 5-member like spots set up, Kross just seemed like out of it, clunky, a little botchy. Like it just exposed him as not a high work rate. Like those 4 other guys have a very similar style, and he is not that style.
No.
And it just came off a little flat. The crowd was out of it. The crowd hated the finish. Like, I didn't think it was a bad match, but I think Cross came out looking really fucking slow and bad when he's not slow or bad. It was just when you have him in there with 4 elite other talents, he couldn't keep up.
I was gonna say, when you have Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly who can put on matches every night and put on solid matches every night, and just having them alone, keeping up with them, because I think Adam Cole probably has he has extraordinary cardio. Kyle O'Reilly's in great shape. Not to see Karrion Kross isn't in great shape. I think Kross is just so much bigger. And that's why now the booking leading up to the match makes more sense, because they were making Karrion just kind of like the Jason Voorhees of the group. Like,
very much so, yeah.
Yeah, just very big, very lumbering, hard to take down, hard to defeat, hard to kill. And then it played out there. Like, he was left for dead, pops up, throws in a rear naked choke, and takes him his belt. I thought this was going to be, and I think I said in the last episode, where Karrion Kross was going to lose, and that was going to be his call up to the main roster. Now, who knows? I mean, I think it sets up a great match between him and Adam Cole. I think that'd be a great idea. But I think Kyle O'Reilly might have something to say about that.
Yeah, it was really well. I saw today that Kyle O'Reilly's actually challenging for the cruiserweight title, which I'm excited about. So he's going against Kushida, which should be a phenomenal match.
Yeah, Kushida's amazing.
Yeah, like to just to close it out, like my feeling was that like Karrion Kross was like Thanos, and the Avengers were all just bouncing around him, like selling for him. It just took all the, I know what pro wrestling is, but it took all the realism out of it. It just seemed very acted out, very like staged, but like a good performance. But like, this is what I expected, and it's exactly what I expected, and literally nothing more. Like,
yeah, and I know what you're saying too. It takes the realism out of it, but like, despite the fact that we know that it's scripted, it's supposed to be as close to real as it can feel. And you're right. Whenever it kind of just like, you're like, oh, here comes the spot, here comes the spot, here comes the spot. It kind of loses its luster.
And the crowd being dead didn't help.
That doesn't help either. Yeah, which sucks, man, because you have 5 of arguably the best wrestlers in WWE, I'd say, and the fans were just kind of dead to it. Well, it gets long. It was like a 40-minute match.
Yeah. Well, and the damning part was the crowd would come alive and like do the fight forever chants when Kross was out of the match.
Yeah,
and it's like, wow, it's just like the booking on paper probably looked really good for him, but in execution just hurt the man. And I'm looking forward to see how they're going to bounce him back, because I mean, I think he is a main card ready and would probably work better on the main card against like a Randy Orton or like an established veteran. Like, that's his style. But that quick pace, like chain wrestling style, he can probably do it really well, but not as good as those 4 guys that can do it the best.
No.
You know what I mean? So weird match. Fun to watch.
Yeah.
So check it out. Anybody who has the Peacock network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pete Dunne's bumps were incredible, and Kyle O'Reilly's crumple physics were on point like they always are.
Crumple physics, baby. So we had another match that went on a little more on the clunky side than Karrion Kross's performance. So Kenny Omega put up the Impact title against Moose on the most recent pay-per-view from Impact. And you and I spoke about it a little bit, but I want to hear what you really think about this.
Yes. So Against All Odds 2021. I have a little bit less of a recap for this because it wasn't super exciting. Nothing against
each other.
Yeah. Nothing against the 2 men in the match, but it just wasn't as action-packed. Basically, they worked an injury angle on Moose's shoulder that Kenny Omega focused on. He threw that V-trigger knee to the shoulder a bunch of times. At one point, Moose hit a Spanish fly off the top on Kenny Omega, which is probably the most impressive part of the match. And then Moose went for his like finishing spear, and Omega pulled the ref in the way, which led to an interference finish. The Young Bucks came in, took Moose out. Omega got the pin and retained. So I mean, the match was the match. It was good, especially for two guys that don't work well with each other. And
Yeah.
even for as big as Kenny Omega is, Moose is gigantic.
Yes.
So
and then
that
to
was
see
pretty cool.
Moose, I saw the replays more and more of Moose throwing the Spanish fly. That for a guy of Moose's size, he has agility through the roof, and then Omega knows how to sell. So you put those two things together, and that move looked incredible.
Not only that, but he did the leap from the mat to the top rope, like the Kurt Angle, like belly to belly leap, which was even more like even added to the how impressed I was by it.
Sure,
but the big problem with this match was the aftermatch. So for those of you who don't watch Impact is recorded in Nashville. And AEW is recorded in Jacksonville.
Yes.
So they had this match at Daly's place in Jacksonville, the AEW stage and ring, to prevent interference from the Good Brothers, who were at Impact's pay-per-view in Louisville earlier in the night, quote unquote, earlier in the night, to keep them from interfering. That's cool. But the Good Brothers were against Sami Callihan and Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
So the match goes off. Omega wins by interference, but who shows up in Jacksonville but Sami fucking Callihan? So Sami Callihan figured out how to get there, but the Good Brothers couldn't.
Yeah, they don't know how to get on planes.
It was just such a hole in your booking.
Yeah.
That Sami Callihan could make it for the stip that was supposed to keep everybody else out, except the Young Bucks, because they live at Daly's place now, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too, you can keep the Good Brothers away, but you still have Michael Nakazawa. He's still there. You still have the Young Bucks are still there. And where the fuck was Frankie Kazarian?
Yeah, he's supposed to be killing all these guys. He's the elite assassin, right?
The elite assassin. Where are you, Frankie? Come through.
But I do like what they did. Sami Callihan came in after the match, destroyed the Young Bucks and Omega with a baseball bat. Threatened with a chair and the bat to break like Omega's face, basically. And was interrupted by Don Callis. Don Callis fired him from Impact,
which is
on the pay-per-view. So I hope Sami Callihan just shows up in AEW now, because he's one of my favorite dudes from Impact. So great hardcore wrestler, built very similar to myself. he's very short and stout. Yeah. So and he likes death metal. So like hopefully he shows up on AEW now. So it was a great end after kind of a flat finish to the match, but it was also like, wait, how did he get there? Like he wasn't supposed to be able to get there.
That's what I didn't understand either.
So that match was very flat. And they didn't have a crowd. They had like stage hands as the crowd. Like the crowd, there was no crowd noise for the match, which was weird.
I think what you could see is they filmed that match like after Elevation was done,
right?
Like you filmed Elevation, like, oh, let's do this match real quick, because you're right, they had like people who set up and tear down the ring, and you had some like some Elevation talent around, and then like AEW announcers were there. But yeah, it was just it felt weird. And then when Sami Callihan showed up, the first thing I thought was, Jacksonville's here, Nashville's here. This match only took 20 minutes. You can't.
Yeah, the pay-per-view, like you were the opening match on the pay-per-view, but that was 2 hours ago. Like you're not getting there.
Yeah, Tony Khan did not put you on the private jet, buddy.
So yeah, kind of exposing to the business. And I know Omega's working hurt right now. He looked good for what he says his injuries are right now. It's hard for me to say that about him, but I will vent on him in a future episode. We're just going to keep teasing it until I get to do it.
Until you do it.
But not a bad.
You.
Yeah, not a bad match. Just a very bad finish to the match, and then a kind of like reality-shattering blow-off or like aftermath to the match, I guess you would say. But yeah, those were the two big main event pay-per-view matches from the weekend.
And that leads us into our next segment here, where the next significant wrestling pay-per-view card is coming up, and it's the Hell in a Cell 2021 edition. So this has some pretty cool matches that are going on, but again, this goes to something that I read where WWE wants to hold on to their more exciting stuff for when they actually go back on the road. Which
nothing like telling people to pay for a placeholder.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, you guys could keep supporting us and we're gonna make record profits, but just so you know, we are throwing out like our C-level shit right now. We just want you to hang in there.
Yeah, remember that WrestleMania card? You're getting just recycled bullshit from that.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking at right now. So this preview shouldn't take long because there's no way that we don't get all of these matches correct. I just don't see it going any other way. And I don't know the order, because the other thing too that WWE is doing now, which they haven't done before, is they aren't releasing the order of their card now because they want you to not like just watch the first part of it then turn it off.
Right.
So if you think Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler is the first match, you could be wrong. It could be the match we're going to talk about right now, and it could be Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship inside Hell in a Cell.
Just more signs of a senile McMahon at the helm of this thing, isn't it?
It is. And at this point, you're looking at two of the greatest wrestlers on the roster fighting again for the upteenth time. At this point, it looks like McIntyre is trying to beat up his older brother, and his older brother just keeps putting his hand on his forehead. It's like, nah, you got to put on some pounds first.
Back to that green mushroom.
Exactly. And what
Lashley's
you're
the one
here, oh yeah, Ashley's definitely the one up. Lashley retains here. Sorry. Lashley retains here without question. And it's going to put McIntyre in a position where he can no longer challenge for the title as long as Bobby Lashley holds it, which I'm so fine with. I'm actually pretty happy that's going to happen. It's going to be a great match because they work well together, but it's going to be McIntyre losing. He's not going to take a strap away from the red hot Bobby Lashley. I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, I echo your sentiment completely. I will add one thing that I hope, I pray, I wish that the Hell in a Cell this year is not bright fucking red.
Oh,
because it hurts my eyes to watch it.
It's fine because Jeff Hardy's entrance music doesn't come with red lights. It only comes with light blue and green lights, because apparently WWE forgets that Jeff Hardy didn't play the Fiend. It's getting ridiculous where
that psychotic red cage they've used for Hell in a Cell the past like 3 or 4 years.
I can't handle it.
I don't know how you looked at that on camera and was like, yeah, this is a good idea.
It hurts. It hurts your eyes. It's the only time I've ever wished my TV wasn't high definition.
Very true.
So we go into the next match I have listed here. It's Bianca Belair versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And much akin to the last match we just talked about, you do not take the belt off of the red hot Bianca Belair. She is the face of your women's division right now, hands down. She won a stellar match against Sasha Banks, where's Sasha right now? Just taking time, probably, I'm sure, but she's not around anymore. And Bayley is Sasha light, except Bayley has this really annoying character she's trying to play. Like, she was a great heel, and now all of a sudden she's just like some menacing soccer mom, and I don't know what's going on with that. But you're not gonna put the strap on her, because I don't think Bayley carries the title now like she did before when she was up against Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I agree. They just stuck her with like this annoying laugh promo and like gimmick, and she's basically playing a Karen at any of your local retail stores, and it's not good. And yeah, I agree. Bianca Belair retains, or they really fucked this up. She's only held the belt for, I think this will be 2 months. So like, yeah, you got to keep it on her. You got to establish her. So yeah, Bayley's not winning it. Hopefully it's a good match. Yeah. All I can say is hopefully these are good, entertaining matches, but like the results, it's just like, you're just really like, when you put the card out here, it's really just spoilers. Like, we already know it's going to happen. Yeah,
you guys can, like, if you're listening and you don't want to buy pay-per-view, or I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you the results. Adam and I are just confirming what we already know is going to happen. Much like the next match here, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. Again, a young champion going against an established veteran. Ripley needs help getting over. She has the strap, but she needs to get over. And the best way to get over is by choking Flair out. And
this one, I do agree that that's what they should do. This one, though, might be the match out of all of them where they try to swerve the crowd and put it on Charlotte and then have Rhea chase it till SummerSlam. I could see them doing that. If they're going to do it with one of the women's champions, it should be Rhea because Bianca's so red hot right now. Like,
yes,
you don't take the belt off her. I do think Rhea should retain and will retain, but I could see them just fucking with us and letting Charlotte get another, build up that belt streak, get her to 16 in 6 years, kind of thing.
Yeah, not like her dad who took 30 years.
Right.
But like, I think here with so if you look at Bianca and Ripley, I think this is a thing where like Bianca Belair doesn't need a belt to be awesome, but I think Ripley needs a belt to be awesome. I think that's a difference here.
See, I kind of think the opposite. I do think that personally, but from WWE's viewpoint, I think Bianca needs the title to stay on television consistently.
Which sucks because she puts on great matches and she should just be out there to be out there. But
they'll put I only say that because I think they'll put Rhea out there to have her out there because of her size and like her presence. You know what I mean? Like that's Vince's motto is like bigger is better, basically. So I think Rhea would be safer than Bianca without the title.
Yeah. And going off the bigger is better, we move into the next match that makes no sense to me whatsoever with another red hot champion, Roman Reigns, coming in to defend his strap against Rey Mysterio Jr. Inside Hell in a Cell. This match, Roman Reigns wins. That's it. I think Roman Reigns wins, but at the end of it, this is where I'm like, hopefully this is what happens. He has an altercation with a returning John Cena or The Rock. Like someone's going to return to set up SummerSlam.
Brock Lesnar.
That's a Lashley.
No, I think Brock. I think Brock's going to go with Lashley. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be the only saving grace to this match, or he just decimates Dominic Mysterio for no good reason.
Yeah.
At the end,
get in here.
I hope it's a good match. I mean, it's a really, it's unique at least for this card. Like we're finally seeing something fresh at least. But yeah, I agree. There's no way Roman Reigns isn't taking this one.
Yeah. Watching Roman Reigns beat the ever-living piss out of everybody else, and then they feed him Rey Mysterio. Not to say Rey Mysterio is an inferior wrestler. I love Rey Mysterio. He's a great luchador, great wrestler, and he's jacked too, man. For his height, he is.
Oh, and for his age?
Yeah, man. That mask off, he still looks young as hell, man.
Yeah.
Fountain of youth down there somewhere. But this leads into our last match here, which I feel like this one just got tacked on for no reason whatsoever. Alexa Bliss going against Shayna Baszler. It didn't need to happen. It got rushed into storylining already. They had one of the worst ending segments to a Raw that has ever been posted whenever Shayna had, was it Lily the doll? And like Lily's laughing, there's a mirror reflection, and then everything just cuts out and there's no storytelling whatsoever. I don't know what they're doing here. Alexa Bliss wins first and foremost. Maybe Reginald comes down to make some interference because it looks like Alexa tried to possess him, I think.
He's the new Fiend.
Yeah. He has to take it from Jeff Hardy first. I don't know, man. I just don't like Alexa Bliss's storyline. We were, I think you and I agreed that the whole Fiend storyline got destroyed, and then Alexa Bliss, we just hoped and prayed that she was going to take on that supernatural thing and just run hard with it, and now that's getting screwed up. I don't know what they're doing here, and this is the match I'm actually hoping that we get some furtherance of storytelling, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're just going to see another flat match.
Yeah, and honestly, all I can hope for is that Alexa Bliss loses and they just cut the storyline completely. But that's probably not going to happen. I think it'll just be kind of a squash, which is terrible for Shayna Baszler because she's actually a legit talent, like with a legit backstory that could further her character. And if you're just feeding her, like, that's not helping. But if she wins, that's not helping. Like, it's really written into a corner here. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe the Fiend. Maybe we get to see the Fiend come back and interfere or something. I don't know.
That would be cool. Just something.
That might be the best outcome possible.
Yeah, because at this point, you need to figure out Alexa Bliss, or like you said, something happens, and then a couple Mondays from now, she comes out to her old Bowling for Soup theme music and just comes bebopping down to the ring in pigtails again. Because at this point, this supernatural thing isn't working. And isn't she getting married to Ryan Cabrera or something like that? Like maybe she just needs to like take time off and go do that. Like I don't know.
Yeah, poor Bud Murphy.
Yeah, oh, Bud, you had a chance, buddy. But we'll see.
You got dumped, and you got dumped by your girl and your company. Poor guy.
Oh, God, he'll wind up in New Japan Pro Wrestling and come out with like a Kuroshita or something like that. You know, like who knows? Good things are on the horizon for Mr. Murphy. And just like good things on the horizon for Mr. Murphy, there's good things on the horizon for you because he's got done listening to all the wrestling news that we can deliver for you. So we are going to take a break, and then we are going to put some of the people in the middle of this episode that support us. They are our sponsors, and you can support us by supporting them. So we'll be back in a couple of moments. And if you hear something you like, go check them out because, again, you support them, you support us, and we bring you cool stuff. So bye. Hey guys, I think we're all sitting here with partners, women in our lives that would kind of appreciate it if we groomed up a little bit. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I do too. And I'm lucky enough to have been in touch with a company called Smooth My Balls, and they want to make sure that we bring our listeners what they have to offer. So right now, they offer the Turf Chopper 3.0 with skin-safe technology. So when you are trimming your sack, you don't mess up and bring a messed up chia pet to a magic party, if you know what I'm saying.
You got to bring your A game to the battlefield, guys. Always.
And the other thing, too, I don't know about you guys, but I often get talked to about having all the hair left in the sink. That's when the Pube Muncher 1.0 comes in. It's a little vacuum, sucks it all up, and grinds up all the hairs, and you can throw away a little easier. That way you can avoid a conversation later, and you can stay groomed.
Always important.
Always important. And right now, all of our listeners can save 15% on their order.
How can they do that?
I'm glad you asked, Josh. They can go to smoothmyballs.com/DWTB and save 15% on their entire order right now. That's smoothmyballs.com/DWTB. And don't forget to look at some of the other products they have, like the sack mat, like the sack vacuum, like the ball freshening powder, and everything else. It's all there for you. smoothmyballs.com/DWTB for 15% off your order right now.
Please them ladies.
The one-stop shop for men's grooming.
That's right. So welcome back. Hopefully you heard something that you like. If you do, remember, check them out. Support them, because when you support them, you support us, and we get to bring you some cool stuff like merch and beer and giveaways and fun guests and all kinds of stuff. So slick stuff, cool stuff, neat stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, slick stuff, neat stuff, you should know that Pittsburgh, our favorite city, is known for their amazing food and fare. Adam and I have gone to many of the establishments here on our time in the city. And when we were just on Wild Nights with Rocky, we definitely made reference to Permanis because what respectable Pittsburgher doesn't? But I got to know, Adam, as much as we are alike, there are things that we are separated on. And I believe that you and I differ greatly on the sandwiches that we enjoy. So I challenge you, Adam, let us develop the Mount Rushmore of sandwiches.
Yeah, I know we have some common interests in sandwiches, but I think we have some big differences too.
I believe so. So, much like every time we do a Mount Rushmore, one of us goes first. We bounce back and forth. We each get 4, And I'm going to tell you right now, I think we're going to battle for over a couple here. And then at the end, we'll decide which 4 reign supreme in the house of the judge. So the Jojitorium will have a nice menu now. It may have some weird choices. So I know last time we said that you went first. So I didn't know if you had a problem with me going first this time.
No, that seems fair, man.
Cool.
Go ahead.
So everybody knows that I'm a nostalgia guy. I always think about the times when I'm growing up and the things that stuck with me and stuck to me in the form of fat, because I am a thick man. I pose for my first choice the classic grilled cheese sandwich. It is a fantastic, simple, easy. I think it's probably one of the first things I learned how to make as a kid on my own with the stove.
Very true.
Yeah, so you get a nice grilled cheese, some tomato soup, and you are good to go. So, number 1 pick from Matt, grilled cheese.
Can't disagree with your points, but real dum-dum for your number 1 spot. Just going to let you know. I'm going to get the argument started early. Very surprised you didn't come up with this. The easy number 1 for a sandwich is a classic Reuben.
Yeah.
With the sauerkraut, the Russian dressing, some marble rye. You dum-dum. You went simpleton grilled cheese, getting driven to work grilled cheese.
What are you talking about, getting driven to grilled?
Reuben.
Yeah, okay, so
my number 1 pick, an adult sandwich.
So you're telling me that when you were a kid, your mom was serving you up Reubens?
No, this wasn't favorite childhood sandwiches. This is just favorite sandwiches.
Well, I'm saying you're making delineations. You're saying I was driven to work when I was eating grilled cheese sandwiches because I was a fucking child.
You picked a little kitty sandwich, which was probably be a fine 2, 3, 4 seat selection. Probably not even 2, 3, maybe 4. But Reuben, number 1.
I'm not going to argue that Reuben's number 1. I love Reubens. You know that.
I do know that.
Yeah.
I was surprised you didn't take it right off the rip.
Maybe I was being nice to you, but I won't be nice anymore, because my second choice here is a solid sandwich that I love to get whenever it's on the menu, and that is a Cuban sandwich.
Ooh,
I do love a good cubano.
See, yeah, that should have been your number 1.
No, see, I have to make sure I get nostalgia out of the way first to get my feelings out of the way, and then I start working on the things that I eat now. So Cubans are very simple. It's simple sandwiches: pickles, ham, mayo, not mayo, mustard, and some cheese on a nice, usually like a pita pocket kind of style.
Usually some ciabatta. Pork too, right? Some pulled pork.
Yeah, some pulled pork.
Some carnitas.
So usually on a ciabatta. And it's delicious, especially if you get that good ciabatta bread that's like has the nice crunchy dome. I'm getting hungry right now, but yeah, a Cuban sandwich is my strong number 2. Which you're right, it should have been my number 1, because who the fuck is gonna take a grilled cheese sandwich off of number 1? Me, but I had to. I love them.
So for my number 2, I'm between 2 very similar sandwiches, and I'm only gonna name the one I'm picking. Might save the other one for later. I don't know yet. But very strong choice. I hate to say it because it's from a city we hate. But it's a delicious sandwich. So from the city of brotherly love and a shitty hockey team, I'm taking the Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Because if you get that sucker with some caramelized grilled onions and cheese whiz, if you're putting anything but cheese whiz on it, I'm not a Philly loyalist or anything, but cheese whiz is the way you eat that thing. So yeah, a Philly cheesesteak sub sandwich.
Dear God,
is my number 2.
What a great sandwich from a terrible city.
Yeah. the only thing I like about going to Philly, they have some good beer too, but
they do
the cheesesteak.
They do. Yeah, the cheesesteaks, Geno's, the hot cheese balls you get on the side with that bad boy. Yeah. I think they actually just feed you cholesterol and rolls, which is fine.
But you always get the whiz. If you get it with provolone, get the fuck away from me. Like I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, the only time I'll get it with provolone is if it's provolone and I get cheese whiz at the same time.
You know what? That extra cheese is always good.
Yeah, I just double down on cheese.
So yeah, my safe number 2. You might be able to guess what my other one was based on that being number 2, but we might see it in like the 4 spot.
It's a possibility that I could guess it, but I'm not here to blow up your spot, man. I'm staying on the straight and narrow, sticking with the things that I know and I love. And I tell you right now, the one thing that I love more than anything else is a nice kielbasa sandwich.
Ooh.
Kielbasa sauerkraut on a Kaiser roll. Now, if I get very specific,
welcome to the adults.
I said Cuban fucking sandwich for number 2.
Yeah, right after your 3-year-old self said grilled cheese.
Don't you think it's impressive though that at 3 years old I was making my own grilled cheese sandwich? Or does that mean that means I was poor? That's what it meant, because my mom left me at home with a working stove. And
I remember like the first 2 things I was allowed to make on the stove, probably before I was 10, was grilled cheese and oatmeal, like the Quaker oats. Like, boil water, throw it in, wait till the water disappears.
The easy stir shit.
Yeah.
So for the kielbasa, I'm kind of specific with this one. So I like to get Saloni's rolls, the Saloni's Kaiser rolls for sure. And then so there's actually a butcher shop in a little town called Fredericktown down in, I think it's the bottom of Washington County. You blink and you miss it, but their butcher shop down there has a spicy kielbasa, and it's called the Butcher Shop. I'm not trying to be generic, but that's just what they call the place. You can actually Google it, but if you get down there, you get the spicy kielbasa, you get the Saloni's Kaiser rolls, and then you get the sauerkraut. I believe it's Kurt's sauerkraut. It is,
yeah, it's something. It definitely starts with a K. I know what you're talking about.
Yes, Kurtzy or Kurt, one or the other, but it has like red writing on the front of it. Mm-hmm. You put those things together, and you can make me do anything. If you promise me one of those sandwiches, and if you really want to get me going over the top, stadium mustard on top. Oh, all day, man.
So you're very close to mine. Saloni's would be my backup bread. I'm going Mancini's all the way because I'm right down here by Mancini's. But
that's a hard 1 and 2, man.
Yeah, some nice, really tart sauerkraut, and I like brown mustard, like the spiciest brown mustard you can throw on it. Yeah, that's how I take my kielbasa. Cannot disagree with that being on your Mount Rushmore. We'll see if it makes it to the finals. But yeah, kielbasa is a strong pick for me.
We'll see if it can bump grilled cheese off, but we'll talk about it.
I definitely will. So I have another conundrum here with a different meat product.
Do you have a confession to make?
I do have a confession to make. On my list, I had listed, I'll admit it now, and if you want to steal it for your 4th pick, go the fuck ahead, because I just changed my mind in mid-thought. I did have a buffalo chicken sandwich written down, but I would like to edit that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to specifically make it a Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
You took my fucking pick.
Better.
God damn it. I was like,
Nashville hot chicken is some of the best. I mean, you don't always get it on a sandwich, so I don't know if that counts, but I've had it on a sandwich, and it's phenomenal.
Have you
had in Nashville?
Have you had it with the waffle bun? It's chicken and waffles.
I had it somewhere. I did not have it locally like that, but I have had it somewhere like that.
Sheets has it, man.
Oh, well,
dude.
I have had Sheets Nashville hot sauce, and it's legit. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've eaten that. I ate that at 3 different places in Nashville when I was there for 2 days. It was not a great recovery period for me, but got Nashville hot chicken everywhere I went. And there are some good, the 2 best places in Pittsburgh I've had it are both in the South Hills. Spoonwood has a great sandwich of it, Nashville hot chicken sandwich. And then, Mindful, which is right down the street from Spoonwood, has just a good dish that's Nashville hot chicken. So go get it. You got to get it with the pickles.
Yes.
It's the whitest white bread, white bun you can find, but the pickles are necessary, and that heat has to be there. It has to be super hot, super vinegary from those pickles. Can't beat it. Maybe it should have been my number 2, to be honest.
I was ready to say you're talking about it with like a romanticism.
Yeah, I literally drooled on my hand while I was writing it down.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you one
Yeah.
question though? Because this is where we might get a little off off the side here. Do you use any kind of coleslaw with your Nashville hot?
I've had it with. I don't hate it with coleslaw, but I prefer it without.
Okay, so I prefer.
I would prefer it be on the side.
I want it on the sandwich.
Yeah, see, I prefer it on the side because I like that heat. I like all the heat.
I need to break up. I need to break up the heat a little bit.
Well, if I'm wrong,
yeah,
I think Spoonwood does put it on their sandwich, and it's good coleslaw. Like it's really legit good coleslaw. But I just
Also, too, you put it on the side. Just don't get mad at me when I scoop it and put it
right.
on the sandwich.
No. Different strokes for different folks, except for that grilled cheese.
I was ready to say, man, you always talk about like inclusion and all this shit. Then I say one thing about grilled cheese, like fucking idiot, or I talk about Cookie Crisp. You're a poor person.
Yeah, but I can crush you for your choices. I don't want to crush every person.
No, it's
I just want to be better than you.
All right, motherfucker. I see what this is all about. Start a podcast with me. Let's see what happens. I want to kill you. So it's my last pick. And much like you, I was torn between two different sandwiches because I like, inside track to me, I think I've said this before, I shouldn't eat red meat and I don't often eat red meat. But when I do, I make sure it's just really bad for me. So I like a good meatball sandwich.
Ooh.
And that was going to be my number 4, except when we took a quick break, I actually got a text message from my buddy who is moving to South Carolina and reminded me of this great pulled pork sandwich we had.
God damn it, you took my number 4.
Yes. The pulled pork sandwich from Revelry Brewing down in South Carolina. It was just majesty. It's exactly what I wanted. A little bit of tanginess to the pulled pork. It's definitely been slow smoked for a whole day, probably. Sweet jicama style coleslaw that goes on top. Thin slices of provolone, and then they just have a buffet of sauce that you can just run all over that thing. Oh yeah, and don't forget candied red onions that you drape. Oh man, great place to go to. If you go to South Carolina and you don't go to Revelry Brewing, you're doing yourself a disservice. And if they have that pulled pork sandwich, you have to get it.
I had it on my list. There's the evidence.
I heard you writing
scratched it off. Yeah.
I heard you writing, and I was like, "It sounds like pulled pork sandwich." But you can say a meatball hoagie if you want to. You fucking asshole.
You know what? I wouldn't disagree with that in the number 4 spot. You did open me up, and I kind of like being in the last pick category because then I can mention all my honorable mentions, so I don't feel like a dick for leaving stuff off. So,
you only want to be a dick when you're making fun of my grilled cheese. That's what it is, man. Everyone else gets respect, but as soon as I mention a grilled cheese sandwich, fuck you.
In my honorable mentions was a pastrami sandwich, which is very close to a Reuben, just with different toppings. So that's not going to make it. And then another one was a banh mi sandwich, which is basically a Korean pulled pork,
which is
with pickled vegetables on it. Fucking phenomenal. But my number 4, which is kind of similar to my number 2, is the French dip sandwich.
Oh God, my stomach hurts just thinking about it.
Yeah, you get some good ribeye. I like it, the ribeye sliced thin, kind of like a cheesesteak.
Absolutely.
Again, caramelized onions. I like a good horseradish sauce on that, or like horseradish mayo. No need for cheese, but if you want to throw cheese on that, I'll take some Swiss. And then that au jus sauce to dip it in. Phenomenal. It was the thing I got every time at the Dogfish Ale House in Fairfax, Virginia, when I frequented that twice a week. I'd switch between that and pizza. So yeah, French dip is going on my number 4. Another beef sandwich from a person that doesn't eat a lot of steak or beef.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
I'm not a real big burger guy. I mean, I do like burgers from specific places, but yeah, 2 beef made it to my final
I was gonna say, man, you're down there and you had Dogfish. You had two incredible choices to go from: a French dip sandwich or like banging pizza all around you. You were in a good spot for eats.
They had a banging. It was a white sauce, but it had like great seasoning in it. Seafood pizza. It had like scallops, shrimp, and lobster or crab on it.
That's insane.
It was phenomenal with some asparagus on it too. Asparagus on pizza.
That sounds so good.
Phenomenal.
I'm gonna tell you real quick. I did have an honorable mention, and it's just something that I tend to get it because, like you, I don't do a lot of red meat. I try not to do any red meat at all, and I don't do a lot of burgers either. But when I'm out, I try to get a good classic turkey club sandwich. It's kind of plain Jane. It's kind of like ultimate white dude sandwich, but sometimes when you want a sandwich, but you don't want to feel like you've been run over by a grease truck, you get a nice turkey club, fills you up, and it usually comes with. Usually, you're getting some kind of like cool homemade chips from the restaurant you go to, so that's always a nice little accompaniment. But we have to pick the top 4. We have 8. We have to whittle it down and cut them in half. So I just say let's hurry up real quick and throw grilled cheese on there, number 1, and work from there.
I mean, you can go ahead and nominate that, but I'm vetoing that shit right away.
I would say after I said grilled cheese and realized that how we were actually swinging for the fences, I do regret saying grilled cheese, but I still stand by the fact that I enjoy them to this day.
I am vetoing it on the basis that it is only there for nostalgia purposes. There is no meat on that sandwich. Nothing against my vegetarian friends or listeners of the program. There's no meat on that sandwich. And it needs tomato soup to be a banging sandwich, in my opinion.
You're right.
So I am striking it from the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion, unless you can convince me otherwise.
I can't. I mean, all valid points. It's just it. When you walk in,
I never wanted to be a lawyer more than to prosecute grilled cheese.
Your Honor, there's no meat on the sandwich, Your Honor. So, striking grilled cheese. Sorry, Kraft. You can kiss my ass. I'm sorry I brought you into this fight. Clearly, you're outmatched. So,
yeah, you can nominate something better out of the 8 we threw up. But in response, and something I know you can't go up against, I nominate the Reuben.
Yeah, Reuben has to be there. Rushmore. Actually, you could almost do like Reubens and then variations of Reubens, because I'll eat a turkey Reuben, I'll eat a pastrami Reuben, I'll eat.
Yep.
I've had a duck Reuben. I'll eat any kind of Reuben. I eat Reubens. That marble rye bread just kills, man. $1,000 dressing. Yeah, man. And the sauerkraut, always sauerkraut. So to keep the sauerkraut train rolling, my first pick to go into the Mount Rushmore is the kielbasa sandwich, because not only can you have it the way that I like it, but you can also go spicy or mild or any way you want it, and it can be customized to your liking. Some people like it more like a hot dog. Guys like me, I like it more like traditional Polish style. So, but I think it is a classic sandwich you can have in the summer, and you can also have it in the winter, no matter when. It's a great sandwich, and it's relatively cheap. It's great.
Literally the 2-meat version of a Reuben, the way I eat it. I just throw mustard on it instead of Russian dressing, and it's basically a Reuben. Yeah, but kielbasa, you're right. Can't disagree. Again, can eat it any time of year. It's relatively cheap. You can grill it. You can throw it in the slow cooker with the sauerkraut in the winter. It's awesome.
Do you know the trick? Do you know the trick to the slow?
No, I'm not as Polish as you, so go ahead and tell me.
All right, so the Polish trick I learned when I went to the Winter Classic here in Pittsburgh, when the Pens got defeated by the Caps. I actually went to a tailgate where an old Polish man was making some of the most delicious kielbasa sandwiches I've ever had. So when you're drinking and eating kielbasa and kraut sandwiches, what's the number one enemy you run across, Adam?
Heartburn for me.
Heartburn, gas, right?
And gas. Yeah. Hand in hand.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a thick dude, so I had like 3 of these sandwiches, and I was pounding a lot of light beer, and I was like, man, I'm not getting gassy. I'm not feeling my heart burn. I don't need any Pepsid or anything. I went up and I was like, hey man, what's up with this? And he cracked open the slow smoker, and he's like, the trick is you take apples and you slice them in half, and you put them, the meat of the fruit down in the sauerkraut as it's slow cooking. And the acidity from the apples takes care of all the whatever the sauerkraut, like the pickling.
Yeah, the gassy enzymes from the
calms it all down. So when you eat it, you don't get all gassy. So
Very cool.
yeah.
And I mean, I feel like a sandwich that needs included on our list, especially because of the large Polish population in Pittsburgh. Like kielbasa is a kind of a staple around here. So yeah,
How many
I will
restaurants
not
do you go
veto
to?
that.
You go
Send
to
it to the
restaurants,
finals.
and I think there's not a restaurant in Pittsburgh that you walk in, they don't have a kielbasa sandwich on the menu. So yeah, send it up to the top. What do you got?
So we got two big meaty cholesterol heavy sandwiches up there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip over throwing one of my red meat sandwiches in and go with the Nashville hot chicken sandwich. Let's get poultry represented. Not to say that's not deep fried and terrible for your arteries too, but just to switch it up a little bit, I'm gonna throw the Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
You can't go wrong.
To the gods.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Especially, I like watching people's faces who have never had a Nashville hot sandwich, to see their eyes light up when they first bite it, because you should almost regret it after your first bite. It should be that hot where you're like, this is now a challenge. But then as you get into it, it just gets that sweet heat. It makes you want to keep eating it. It's very addicting.
Once it mingles in with a good pickle, it's always bearable and it's always delicious.
The crack cocaine of sandwiches, baby. Nashville hot. So I get to round it out, right? I got number 4.
You can try, unless I disagree. You try to throw grilled cheese in there again, I'm going to smack you through the screen.
Listen, I'm not going to try to sneak grilled cheese in there. Okay, listen. So, I mean, you really got to go with a sandwich that you can rely on. A sandwich that's always going to be there for you. A sandwich that's going to take care of you and make sure that you are fed and ready to go. So I'm going to sneak peanut butter and jelly on there. Kidding. So I'm going to go back to a big meaty bastard that I can't stop eating when they're in front of me. And I'm going to bring back my cleanup hitter, the pulled pork sandwich. This is a sandwich, again, very customizable. I think you can have it. You can, and there, I've seen, and for our vegan friendly friends here and vegetarian friends, jackfruit can actually be substituted in for the pulled pork. And I've had one. It is fantastic.
It works, especially if it's smoked. It really works.
So you can customize this sandwich any way you want to. For me, I fully load. I want this thing to be dripping. I want it to be cheesy. I want it to be just covered in vinegary coleslaw. I just want this thing to just sing the whole way through. So if I had to pick a sandwich to throw on there to support those 3 heavy hitters we put on there, I think that the pulled pork sandwich provides the cleanup hitter that you need in a 4-man lineup.
I mean, as much as I'd like to veto that 4th choice, for your second choice, the Cuban, really the Cuban is just a pre-customized version of a pulled pork. So
it is.
You kind of have to include it. And I'd love to shove my cheesesteak in the lineup or my French dip. But the pulled pork it's very customizable. It's Americana. It's a wonderful choice. I feel like we left out some heavy hitter classic ones. For our fans, don't be mad. But the Italian hoagie didn't get mentioned. Meatball got dropped. I would really, really, really like to maybe put cheesesteak ahead of the pulled pork. But that comes from a shitty ass city. Fuck you, Philadelphia. Love our listeners from there, but fuck your city. Pulled pork, go ahead. You take your place at number 4 on the Mount Rushmore.
So we have decided we have our lineup here. If we were having a restaurant down the Jojitorium where you can come down and get the kind of beers that you need to satisfy the sweet heat in your life, you would be able to get a Reuben, a kielbasa and kraut sandwich, a Nashville hot sandwich, or a pulled pork sandwich. Now, like anything we do here in the Jojitorium, it is up for interpretation and argument. So if you think you could do better than us, then you email us your lineup at decayingwtb on all social media or to our email, decayingwtb@gmail.com, and you can tell us why you think we should be driven to work and what we should be eating. And if you try to tell Adam that he should get into grilled cheese more, about there's artisanal grilled cheeses, you're not going to shake them. So save the clicks and typing on that one. challenge us on the sandwiches if you think you can come up with a better lineup. And I'd love to see what you got. And if you
and let us know what we left off. We probably have hundreds of sandwiches we didn't even mention. Like, bring them up. I love a good sandwich. I could rattle a bunch off right now, but you rattle them off for me. There's one with seafood on it I'm specifically thinking about right now that I'm sad I left
lobster
off.
roll.
But no, I do not like it. I was thinking shrimp po' boy, but
oh my god,
I think a lobster roll is extremely overrated. It's
really?
buttery insect meat on a hot dog bun. Get over yourself.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
And you got to pay like $20 for it.
I'd pay $25 for it. I like them so much, man. They're so good. So we did get some questions, Adam, and these are very fun ones. No one's asking us for relationship advice, thank God, because I think we've ruined enough marriages in our time. So
yeah, I'm not good at that.
Yeah, neither am I. I always just like dump that. I go full time like dump that bitch. So Adam, if the question here is if we could have only one beer for the rest of our lives, what would it be? So I'm gonna let you take that one first because I rely on you a lot for beer recommendations.
Sure. So I have one from I'm a big it's easy for me to pick the style of beer.
Yes.
Very simple. It's a West Coast IPA.
Okay.
So for me, like some really good examples would be something from Stone, something like a Bell's, Dogfish 60 Minute, are all like really easy answers. But if I'm gonna be stuck with one for the rest of my life, and never drink anything else again, there was one made, and I don't get it a lot. I don't even know if it's being made currently, but Green Flash Brewing used to make one called the Palate Wrecker, which was an infinitely hoppy masterpiece. 9.5 ABV would literally wreck your palate and wreck your life. But was just a crispy, hoppy bastard masterpiece. And that's what I would pick. I'm not saying that's my favorite West Coast I've ever had. I'm not saying it's my favorite beer in general, but like if I'm stuck with one, I want it to shock my taste buds every time. So I'm going to throw a curveball and go with the Green Flash Palate Wrecker.
And you're going to be wrecked all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can be drunk for cheap. True sign. Word.
Yes.
Could we have an over-under if I'm going to be an AA by episode 50 of this podcast?
I mean,
I love beer so much.
50, 25 is a little closer to us right now. I mean, we should probably try that one out. It's up to like 17 or something like that. No,
I'm no quitter.
You can hold on to 50. I know you can.
I'm no quitter.
So you actually mentioned the brewery that I would get the beer from. So Stone, because Stone is one of my favorite places. But I will tell you that I had a beer that it's very hard for me to get my hands on because they don't make it very often. And it's called Fear Movie Lions. It's FML. And the reason why it's FML is so that Stone Brewing, I hope I'm saying this right. So if someone is from Stone and you want to call me a liar, you can. But this is what I read. This is why I like this beer even more. So down in the basement of the main brew house of Stone, that's where they make all the very high temperature beers, which is what this is. And someone took a can of spray paint and put FML on the wall, which, is fuck my life. But of course, They couldn't put FML on the beer label. So they said, oh, that's definitely Fear Movie Lions because movie lions are the most ferocious things on the planet. So the beer came out as Fear Movie Lions. It's a double IPA. It's super hoppy, but it comes in, I think, a little over 9%.
It's a solid choice for me. There's an honorable mention for me that I just thought of when you mentioned the hot disregarded fermenter.
Yeah. Hams.
Drecker out of I believe oh boy, I should probably look it up. I believe they're out of North Dakota. I'm going to look it up real quick while I talk about it. But they make one with a Nordic. They make a Nordic IPA that's made with a Nordic strain of yeast called Kvik that ferments really well in heat. And it is a cloudy IPA, but it finishes super dry and super hoppy. And that would be a pretty good one. It is North Dakota, so I got that right. It's
Good
Fargo.
shot there, buddy.
So I will visit North Dakota one day, simply for the fact to go to Drecker because they have amazing IPAs and amazing sours. But yeah, they're I think it's a whole series. I think they do a series of Nordic IPAs with like different hops being interchanged. So that'd be a good one too. That just popped into my mind when you said that. I mean, there's a bunch of local people I should say here.
Yes.
But I'm just going commercial for the national audience. I don't know who asked this question. But yeah, I don't know. Challenge us sometime, listeners. I'd love to hear your beer questions. I love talking about beer, clearly. So
yeah. And help us burn some bridges, baby. Let's see if we can piss off. So speaking of styles and whatnot, what is one food you refuse to try? I should say that without sounding like I need to be driven to work. What is one food you refuse to try no matter what?
I went first on the last one, so you can take it if you want.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's not a kind of food. It's like a delicacy of food. Anything that is delivered to me still alive, like still alive squid, like a live fish, things like that. Like you're supposed to like eat it while it's alive because I don't know, sometimes it's a cultural thing, and so I don't want to be disingenuous to that, but there's something about watching. And I think the first time I got to watch somebody do it in like face to face, and it was at like a Mongolian kind of thing, but it was definitely it was a live squid, and I watched somebody take a chopstick and capture a little guy.
And it's still wiggling.
It's fighting in their mouth and everything. I can see the tentacles like around their lips, and it freaked me out, man. If it's alive, when you deliver to me, I'm gonna try to put it back in the ocean or in the woods or wherever it belongs. I'm not gonna eat it. I'm sorry.
They seem to usually do that with seafood too. Like that seems like the most common. So I have a side question to that to like further this.
Yeah.
What if it's a not live fish, but it is also a delicacy to just serve fish with the head still on?
I do that,
but it's dead. Are you okay with that? See, I can't
do that. Yeah.
I don't want my food looking at me. I feel guilty.
Yeah. If it's dead, I'm fine. You know what I mean? It's that's not a problem. Like
that, or like the roasted duck with the head still on. I can't, like, if it's still got the head on it, except for soft shell crab, because that just comes basically fried as it died, and I can do that.
There is something about like when you mentioned the duck, I think if it's something that's like cuddly and cute and it comes to me, because like I also think too, like if someone serves me a pig's pig's head, like a boar's head,
right?
I see that thing, I'm just like, that freaks me out, man. Like I take it back. No, if you serve, I'm just being cool for fish. But like if it was like
but anything else is out. That's fine. Yeah. I'm not even good with fish. Anything that's staring at me, I can't eat.
Yeah, it's weird.
So mine is probably like a more common answer. Not that that's uncommon. I think a lot of people wouldn't like to eat that. But my go-to, I was thinking Rocky Mountain oyster, but I thought of something even worse, which is sweetbreads. I would not like to ever eat.
Yeah, man.
Sweetbreads.
Yeah, I could pass on sweetbreads.
There's some gross parts of an animal that I wouldn't like to eat, or I thought I wouldn't like to eat, like tongue. But
tongue's really good.
If tongue is prepared in a street taco, I'll eat that. I love it.
Oh yeah.
So sweetbreads, common misconception is that that's the testicles of an animal. It's actually the thymus gland and parts of the pancreas gland from a young calf or lamb, which it has to be harvested when they're young, or it gets an off taste, which I'll never be able to tell you that because I'm not going to eat it without the off taste. But yeah, it's just to me, I never even thought it was. I didn't know until I researched this. I always thought it was a part of the brain.
I did too,
to be honest. But it's glandular, so it's probably from that area. Yeah. At least one of those. Actually, it says it's from the thymus gland's from the throat, and the pancreas gland is from the heart and or stomach.
It just freaks me out. Area. Also,
so either of those areas, it looks like brains. I'm not eating it. I don't care if you deep fry it and put powdered sugar on it. I'm not eating it.
Also, too, what devious fucker was like, I wonder what the heart tastes like. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, I think that goes back to like maybe Native American culture and like the tribal cultures where like you don't waste any part of the animal. Yeah. And it probably just went from there, but who knows? Yeah, I don't know.
You and I love music, and we talk about enough. This guy sent an email in. Hey boys, you should know each other well enough for this one. Make the other host sit through 2 or 3 bands they absolutely hate, so they have a chance to see a band they know is near impossible to see. This is all about torture. So this is where I know you and I have a very, very significant division in our musical tastes. We like a lot of the same things, but there are things that I listen to that I know you don't want to listen to.
Oh, this is tough. So it doesn't have to be bands I like though either. It just has to be bands you hate.
Yes.
I'll let you go first since I went first on the last question.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see how mean you get, and then I'll decide.
Okay. So I think a band I know that you like, that you've wanted to see a bunch of, like, you've actually seen these guys. They put on a great show. You've said so yourself. Is Ghost. I think Ghost is a band that you would like to see if you had the opportunity. So I'm going to make sure that they're the headliner. They're the ones, they're going to come out and they're going to do an 1.5-hour set, full theatrics, the whole 9 yards. Because I know you dig that shit.
Uh-huh.
Opening band is Avenged Sevenfold, and they only play songs from Backcountry. And they dedicate Backcountry to you. They're like, oh, there's Adam Bashline's out there celebrating a great night out with his friends. This one's for you. And they start playing Backcountry, and I just want to see your head just get really red like it does when you get pissed. And then I want to say after that, we're gonna tune it down a little bit for you. I want to make sure that you can get real, into your own feelings. So Dashboard Confessional is going to come out, and they're going to play a nice intimate set where we have to get real close to the stage because it's going to be just the lead guy from Dashboard Confessional playing all of their solid hits, acoustic guitar. And he dedicates probably, I don't know, Remember to Breathe to you because
I don't even know that. I don't even know that song because all their songs sound the same, and I hate all their songs. That's such a fucking bad one. That's so bad. I hate them so bad.
So then you have to get to a band that really picks it up, that really gets you in the mood for Ghost, because Ghost is very theatrical, and this band is very theatrical. I feel like in another world, another time, that you would enjoy this band a lot. And it's Taking Back Sunday. And Taking Back Sunday is going to come out, and they're going to play all the stuff from their first 2 albums. But they have a surprise for you, Adam. They are going to cover Ohio Is for Lovers for their closing song. From
why? That's not that. Why are they doing covers?
Because they know how much you like that song.
Oh God!
And then Ghost comes out and they kill.
Actually, out of the 3 of them, the one I would least mind to sit through is Taking Back Sunday. Even though me and you sat through them. Well, that's not true. We drank beers until their last 2 songs and then went and saw them because they opened up for Every Time I Die or the Damn Things. Yeah. I mean, I do like a few of their songs on their recordings. Them live is a whole different story. It's rough.
And I should say too,
very good. That's torturous, especially Dashboard.
Being there with you is great because aside from Avenged Sevenfold, I like those other bands a lot. So I would be having the time of my life. They're cool and you're crumbling.
It's tough for me. So I think I picked a band for you that's near impossible they'll ever perform again, I think.
Okay.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it would be a headliner show from Under Oath.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that'd be a wonderful show. Yeah.
I'd love to see them. That's never happening again between like health issues and turmoil, right? Like you're never getting the original lineup.
No, you won't get the original.
I'm saying OG lineup.
Oh, well, yeah, you're never going to get that.
For Under Oath. Is there anything better than that for you? Like
anything better than that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, is there anything like less possible and as great as that? So I
would
think
say
I nailed that.
That's a great category because I do love that band a lot. I love all their albums. So yeah, if they were an original,
Because I was thinking that or OG Panic at the Disco, but like no diss to Panic at the Disco, but their musicianship's kind of interchangeable. As long as you have Brandon Urie at the front, like
that's all you need.
You're gonna have a Panic.
That's all you need.
So yeah, Under Oath because they were better musicians. So that's your headliner. That's who you're gonna freaking see.
Okay.
To open up the bill, I can't think of a better band to stick you with than post 2019 Five Finger Death Punch to open it up. Just the moodiest of Ivan Moody, the bitchiest of Ivan Moody. When they got rid of all their good band members, Ivan Moody, Five Finger Death Punch, full motocross gear, get your Monster Energy drinks, bring your pieces of drywall to punch at the show.
Do they play anything from the first album?
No. Only stuff they recorded post 2019.
That's so terrible.
Where there was basically Miley Cyrus with double bass kick drums.
Oh my god, dude!
Horrendous.
You're way better at this than I am.
Yeah, you're getting that to start. Then a personal hate of mine that I think you would torture you. You're gonna get like a 3-hour set from Tool.
Oh,
just Tool's greatest hits. Who gives a shit? Because it's all the same.
They can only play 2 songs in 3 hours. I don't know how.
Well, you're gonna listen to both of them. So after you got Five Finger Death Punch, I'll just give them like a headlining set, like 45 minutes to an hour. Because there's only so much they have from 2009 post. You're gonna get like 3 hours of Tool. But it's a festival though. I'm sending you to a festival because you're gonna be there all day.
Thanks, man.
So that's really nice. Yeah, you'll be out in the lawn, by the way, too. No shade for you. It's gonna be 105 degrees in the sun. No trees. It's startling.
You're bringing elements into this.
Then it's like, oh, you know what? At that point, you're probably gonna be like a little like meddled and progged out.
Yeah.
You want some easy, relaxing music. And I'm going to take a stab that you hate this band as much as I do. We're going for some classic rock. And you're going to listen to 2 hours of The Eagles.
Oh my
Hotel
God,
California, baby. Because the Eagles, I mean, America's fucking heart is in the Eagles. Everybody likes them, right, Matt? Don't you love the Eagles?
Yeah, I love them so much that I hope that they never come back. They should
for some reason
there.
As soon as you read this question, I was like, what is the worst band on DVE? And I was like, easy.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put up with them. Go ahead, Hunter. And then you get to enjoy Under Oath.
Comes out like they end Hotel California, and then Spencer comes out and he's like, okay, you guys ready? They fucking go in. It's dangerous business walking out your front door. I'm like, this is a comparison.
So off the top of my head, those are the 3 bands I think I could torture you with.
I'm pretty sure that the contemplation of like running headfirst into a cement block would occur as soon as Ivan Moody started going on one of his like whatever he's choosing to be against rants.
It's usually the record industry that made him all the money he has.
Yeah. You're the reason why I got these shitty face tattoos.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah. Boo-hoo, you're rich, and now you have a significant mental health disorder. Go get help. You need help.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you're really good at this. We should just have a sideshow where you just torture people. Where's Netflix? Can we just pitch them a show?
I would low-key really enjoy that.
Low-key, you high-key enjoy that one. You can make people miserable for money. That's great.
Pay me.
So you know what makes people happy all the time, Adam? The delicious
Eagles.
Well, no. Damn it. No. The delicious brews you make down in the brew lab. So Adam, I want you to tell the people who are listening what is on tap in the brew lab.
Yeah, for sure. I'll mention it. It's not, by the time you're listening to this, it's gone because I'm killing it after we get off air. Jojitorium, double IPA, 9.3%. Adam's not waking up early tomorrow, folks, because I'm killing that for you. But it will be replaced shortly with our Hoppy Hefeweizen that we are doing. It is a Hefeweizen that is bitter hopped with Eldorado. So it's traditional. As far as the grist, it's a traditional Hefeweizen. It's very wheat heavy. It is fermented with the German strain of yeast, very banana-y, a little bit of clove. But it was bitter hopped with Eldorado hops and then whirlpooled with a bunch of Sabro and Rolwaca, which gives it tropical fruit, a little bit of coconuttiness, a little bit of creaminess on the back end. Should be really good. Can't wait to try it. Can't wait to share it with everybody. On number 2 is the Dad Shoes Lemon Summer Shandy, our Leinenkugel killer at 5.2%. Come out this. If you're listening to this, it's Father's Day. Get your dad some. If you give it to him a couple of days late, he won't be mad at you. He'll love you. He'll drink it while he cuts the lawn. He'll love it.
Hell yeah.
So come get some. It is selling this weekend. People got the memo. It's Father's Day. Papas enjoy it. And number 3, you might have missed Mother's Day. We still got Mom Jean's Mimosa Ale on, 6.8%. Come get some for the mama you love. It's a mimosa-inspired ale. We got orange juice in it. It's a very dry brute. Then back sweetened with some orange juice. And at number 4, RIP Connor, we're on our second keg of the retired Triple Agent Pineapple Jalapeno Triple IPA at 10.2%. I'm not going to lie, folks. I just got rid of, legally, 24 bottles of this second keg today.
Yes.
So it is not long for this world either. There is about a case and a half left in there. Yes. So please, if you want to try it, come get it. Strong pineapple notes, very strong on the jalapeno flavor, not strong on the spice, very light on the spice. Won't wreck your throat, won't wreck your heartburn, won't give you heartburn, but will wreck you because it's 10.2%. So
yes, come
get some. And a special announcement to drop for everybody. This Saturday, you saw it on our socials, but Saturday it released. Hoped I saw you there. But if it's Sunday, you can still go get it in cans, still get it on draft. At Fury Brewing in Irwin, PA, we have the Bash at the Beach Hazy Session IPA. It is the opposite of the retired Triple Agent. This beer is coming in at, I believe, 5%, around 5%. So it's a very crushable, tropical, coconutty, creamy, light IPA. That's it. That's just a good hazy. Drinks like it's probably in the 6-7% range, but it's not gonna it's not gonna wreck you. So go visit the fine folks out at Fury. Tell them the boys sent you. Tell them Bash Brew sent you. And enjoy, folks, and just stay posted for more festivals coming. I got some news today. We might be going to Eastern PA at the end of July. Stay posted. We'll probably only have one beer featured at that festival. If we make it, it's in the works right now, but stay posted. Ask me about it as July approaches, and I will know more notes on that.
Yes. And as we get more notes about it, we will be dropping that on social media. But if you want to know what's going on in the Brew Lab with Adam, all you have to do is follow at @bash_brew on all social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Do not forget to follow him on Untapped. And as always, if you want to know what's going on here with Decaying with the Boys, we are at Decaying WTB on all social media. That is, again, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget about the Twitter polls that we put out randomly, usually when I'm watching wrestling. So if you can tune in at that time, you can vote. And don't forget to send us in your questions, comments, emails. Tell us how wrong we are about our sandwich choices. Or if you just want to make fun of the reason that I like grilled cheese, that's fine too. That's decayingwtb@gmail.com. So until next time, cheers.
Cheers, guys.